Welcome to Startup Funding Event. We kindly ask you to fill up all the seats and sit next to each other. This is important for our camera crew. Put your phones on silent and remember to download our Startup Funding Event app. Thank you.
Wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. Before we start the program, again, we have been pushing this a lot, but have you downloaded the app? It's crucial to the program. I'll tell you later why. If not, go to the App Store or Android and just download it now. Take the time, and we will continue. So, thank you all for coming to Startup Funding Events 2019. We have a hashtag that our audience always uses, and we get beautiful pictures through that. So please take pictures, put the hashtag on, because we share those hashtags as well, and our team is super happy when we see these pictures come to our team. But we are here for a special, special day, which is our 1 year anniversary. We are literally 1 year old. Last year we did not exist. And it's been an amazing journey, and it started a year ago when we imagined a world where we could give more freedom to the people every day, waking up to a more impactful world. And we did this through 3 events. Last year we launched in Rotterdam together with our partners, where we really tried to find that next possible impact startup that could change the world. And it went so good that Amsterdam Capital Week reached out to us and wanted us to close their week. And so we did Amsterdam in September. And then Slush reached out to the city of Helsinki, and we combined with the Dutch government together in Helsinki. We did a nice get-together where we launched our third event internationally. And out of that, which is the most beautiful for us as a team, 3 winners came. Winners that, depending on the sector, you might already know about because they have grown like crazy and have proven to me that impact startups can grow faster than just regular startups. Of course, there are a lot of cool regular startups as well. But for me, this is important, to celebrate those 3 winners in the last year. And the first winner that I want to celebrate is our first Rotterdam winner, Scone, who's here in the audience, who's been helping us a lot. And they had such a beautiful journey. And what they do is, you see it on the slide, the Scone boxes, those containers, they take diesel ships and make them electric, and the beautiful thing is that you can use those Scone boxes to also power construction sites and festivals. They had an amazing investment from Damen as well, and have been really growing hard. And actually they have a stand outside, and they're looking for developers and energy partners. So if you're a developer or an energy partner, make sure to approach Scone. Then our next winner from Amsterdam was Captain AI, who in 1 year has been really silent but very deadly. They have grown so hard and have launched with KPN a first water taxi, autonomous shipping. And we are very proud of them, and Captain AI, you're doing a really good job. Also, they are looking for developers and hiring right now, as well as partners, so approach them, they have a stand as well. And our last winner from Helsinki, after Helsinki, they went on and opened in Den Haag as well. And at this point, if you're from Amsterdam, Rotterdam, or Den Haag, you really will know them. Felix, the scooters, and they've been growing a lot as well. They're hiring constantly, and we congratulate Felix as well with their growth. And we're happy that we were able to be a part of that, because I have to say Felix really impacts my life daily when I'm biking down the road, and instead of a gasoline scooter catching on and cutting me off, I have a Felix scooter cutting me off. So thank you. But there is a reason why we do what we do, and people always ask us why do we do this? Why do we go through this hell? This isn't even a real business for us. This is just something we do to give back. And there's a reason why, and it's because we believe that sharing innovation is crucial to the future generations in our world. If we want to grow up in a better world, now is the time, not later, to help those people that deserve it. And so sharing innovation for the future generations is what we stand for. And what better city to do it in than Rotterdam, where the hashtag is Make It Happen. I'm so literally proud that our headquarters is in Rotterdam. And I'm not just saying it because they're a partner. I seriously love the skyscrapers and the vibe of startups. Without them, we wouldn't be growing as fast as we would in other cities. And with that, also towards the audience. There's a reason why Startup Funding Event seems to work, and there's a reason why people like to come here. And it has to do with our core values. And the first one is sharing. We have the idea of sharing knowledge, sharing resources without expectations. When we ask our judges to come or ambassadors to come, we always tell them, please just share, don't expect anything back. We will make sure to give it to you tenfold. And as long as you have that mindset, I notice that people really do get a lot out of our events. Then the next core value we have is innovation. As innovation unfolds, it happens very often that people tend to be critical about it. And critical is good as long as it's constructive feedback. But innovation is crucial to be stimulated, not to fight against it or discourage people. So as you're walking around at the expo today and you're talking to people and they have a new concept or a new idea, please encourage them and find them a way to make it practical instead of being super critical. Because that's what makes innovation really, that's what really stimulates innovation. And then lastly, impact. Impact is the most important to me because sharing and innovation seems to be the most obvious for everyone, but impact for me means that not only do you do all of the things like sharing and innovation, but you also do it in a way that can impact a human life. When you come up with an innovation or an idea, think in a way that it can bring positive impact. And if you have that last straw, things will really work out for you. Those are our core values, but it wouldn't be possible without my team. I'm actually the founder of Lightning Video Editors, and 5 years ago I started my own startup. We have grown immensely, and we wouldn't have been able to do that without the team, the people that are here filming. So if you see them, please smile to them, give them a hi. But also without the long hours and the dedication that we have towards each other. I'm really grateful for everybody at Lightning. I'm really grateful that I got to experience what a startup life was like, so that now at Startup Funding Event, we get to help them, get to help the new startups and can take away the first years of obstacles for them. And so thank you, team of Lightning, for creating this. And to give you a little bit of context, so we have this team, not super big team, and we have a small department in there. It's called the Innovation Department. It's just 2 people chilling most of the time. But they have full freedom. They can operate in any department, they have budgets, and their job is to disrupt everything that we do. So instead of just making machine learning videos, we look at how we can build an app, and then we build our own app. Or how we can go deeper into impact, and then build an event, and then we go and build an event. So this wouldn't be possible without the innovation department being as crazy as they are and actually delivering to what they say. So that's how Startup Funding Event got founded, with the innovation department of Lightning. So this wouldn't be also possible, and usually at this slide everybody's like, oh, thank you, our partners, but this is, I genuinely have a personal connection with these partners. These are people that believed in me since the beginning and have made these things possible. So I'm really grateful for the partners. A lot of them are here and have a stand, so approach them. These are definitely the decision makers that can connect you within the organization and can help you out. Thank you, our judges, which is a lot, and I'll explain why it's a unique concept, and there's a reason why. Most of the time, you do these events, and you have these startups pitching, and there's a judge, and they give a score, and that's pretty much it. And the reality is that this event isn't about today. Today is, the startups are pitching, but there's a lifetime community that follows after. A year after, we're still promoting our 3 winners. And so the judges are here from different industries, experts in their field, with amazing networks that can share in a way that is almost like a mini mentoring or consultation, which can be super valuable for these 3 startups, and is our way to not only help the winner, but also the top 3 and make them all winners. That's why we have this many judges, and that's why I'm also very grateful, judges, that you're all here and helping. Now, the judges aren't all that decide. The audience, you can decide as well, and that's why you have to download the app. Now, when you download the app, there's a 30-minute sync interval, so if you cannot log in right away, it has to do with the fact that you have just downloaded it and tried to register. You can only register with your Eventbrite ticket, which Eventbrite is open until 6 o'clock just for this reason, so that you can register, you'll have your 30-minute interval, and then you can access the app. In there, you will find that you can vote for the startups. So please vote after the pitches, don't start voting now for the person you like. So that's the audience vote. So, then, we are going now into the next phase. Intros are always better when they're short. The next phase is what I'm looking forward to the most, and it has to do with our panel speakers. And for that, we have a video to introduce them.
Please welcome our speakers, Marty Stenbrink, CEO Transavia. Lara Nuhan, Executive Digital Advisor, Microsoft. And Eva Tia Bloot, Director, Yes Delft.
Please welcome to the stage our three speakers. We already greeted each other before, but oh my God, I have been looking forward to this moment as a startup myself. These questions are done in a way that I really personal. I really want to hear these answers, and I hope you, the audience, wants to hear them as well. But before we really start, we have a special announcement, an experiment that I heard Matthijs wanted to do. So I'm going to give you the freedom to do this small experiment.
Thank you, Lova, and I think it deserves a bit of a context, otherwise you would think there's another guy taking a selfie. I did a speech in Las Vegas 2 years ago for 6,000 people in the MGM hotel where all the boxers and all the concerts are. And I was sitting somewhere on the first row and I was extremely nervous because this was going to be the speech of my life. And I had to think of something to take the edge off. And I was thinking, and then I remembered that my daughter always asked me, Daddy, what are you doing at your work? And my answer is always, I'm talking. And then she asked a very fundamental question, when you talk, is somebody listening? And if so, how many people? And then I think, now I have you. I'm going to prove to you that when I talk, 6,000 people are actually listening. So I made that selfie, and then from then on, that became a ritual that every time I'm on stage, that for my daughter to prove that when I talk, at least somebody is listening, then I will do the selfie. But not a boring selfie, just me and you sitting there, but at the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, please do something that makes me proud and makes me come home and have a proud daughter. So bear with me, and Lova, I think I need to have you take the microphone. And yeah, I need to do this well, yeah. Ready? 1, 2.
I love experiments. Great, let's start. So, these questions for me are important as a founder, growing really hard, and so these are generally just, say from the heart what you think. So this question for everyone, but we can start with you, AA. Let's go back to when you were all really young. In your hometown, what indications were there from young you that you were eventually going to end up where you are today, in the positions you are?
Well, it was a century ago, of course, because I'm already an old guy, but we always get influenced by so many things, of family, of friends. But for me, I think my high school, here in Rotterdam, Montessori Lyceum, was a really big influencer, because it was a high school where there was a lot of attention for sports, culture, people were very open-minded, creative, and it really stimulated me to become the person I am today.
So Rotterdam was the reason why. I think that's really good for city of Rotterdam here. I do want to go a little bit deeper in that, and I'll go deeper in you guys as well, but did you know you were an entrepreneur? Like, I mean, there are these stories, I was selling like these crackers and everything, but like, was it a gradual experience, or was it like, no, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm going for it?
That's a very, very interesting question. So my family was very international. My father was an engineer, my grandmother was an engineer, and even my aunt was an engineer. So I had to become an engineer, of course, so I had no choice. It was all about study, about science, it was never about business. So I started after my study, I did Technical University in Eindhoven. I started a corporate career, became a commercial person, commercial director at KPN, my last job. And then I decided to become an entrepreneur because I couldn't stand politics anymore in big, large corporates. And that was for me the motivation to start my own company. And from there on, I discovered on a very late age, I was 35, that this was what I loved to do. So I always look back and say, unfortunately, I wasted 10 years of my life. I wish I would have started my company earlier. But I needed the time to figure this out. And I think that's with a lot of people. And when I meet a lot of young people, I always encourage them, if you really have it in you, please go for it, because it's magic to be an entrepreneur.
Great answer, thank you. Cool, Laura, what about you?
Short answers, right?
You can go.
Yeah, no, I think for me it's more like I always have been very curious, like always wanted to learn and never taking something for granted. So always, like I was 4 years old, I already run away from home because I wanted to paint on walls, which my little friend could do. At school, I was a horror. The teacher really hated me because I was like drawing or doing other stuff. So really like that drive to learn and see. And I think if you look at my family, my mother comes from Barcelona, but in the time when it was with Franco, it was like not a fun place to be. My father was born in Rotterdam, and he also had he had no contact with his family. He was like young in an orphanage, so I always was as well like, I want to do better, and that's also they encourage me. So that's my innovating spirit.
Nice, thank you. Matthijs?
Yeah, I think actually there was no sign at all that I would end up what I'm now. In my family, business or entrepreneurship was sort of a dirty word. They were the enemy. You become a doctor or a judge. And actually I was trying to become a doctor, but fate decided otherwise because you had to draw to get into university. I was not selected, so I parked myself somewhere else, and that brought me up actually here. What I think helped over all the years was I'm an optimist, and I hate rules. So I love to gain knowledge, and I recognize myself in you, and I hated school. So it's always that your self-propellingness that is moving you forwards, and I also believe it's difficult to plan forward. It's live day by day, and do not plan, well, I will have impact next week. No, every day have a little impact, and then you will end up somewhere. And then looking backwards, you can create that story. But create your story forwards, I don't believe in.
So a little bit every day, and then you get where you are. Great. Okay, so then next question I have is AA. As a startup founder, you said a while back in an interview that you ask yourself at the end of the day, every day, did I contribute to achieving my goal today? And my question to you is, what happened afterward in your mind? What was going through it? And if you didn't achieve your goals that day, what did you do? Or if you did, what did you do?
I think this is a very important question, because being an entrepreneur and you're leading the company, you have to push it forward. You must make sure that the things you do are really making impact. So many people I always see, they confuse, let's say, activity with progress. But the fact that you work 20 hours a day doesn't mean you will have any achievement or any accomplishment. So every day you need to be disciplined and think about, okay, what did I do today that really brought the company a little bit further? And if not, why not? What can I change in my daily behavior? As I told you, at Just Delft, first one of the things I saw is I had so many delegations coming from all over the world having presentations. Well, I immediately skipped it from my list. I trained some other people to do that, so I could focus on the things that really matter. And this is so critical because time is your biggest enemy here. There's a lot of money in the world, a lot of talent, but it is fierce competition, and time to market is so important. So focus on your goals, and make sure that you really work towards accomplishment and not just activity.
Great, thank you. Laura, in an article, when I stalked you pretty much, sorry. I read an article that you wrote, and you quoted Steve Jobs on success, which I think really aligns to what AA just said. And what stood out the most for me was how you wrote that success is the result of perseverance. Can you share a tip for someone who's about to give up because of too many failures or hardships coming their way? And also, maybe how do they know when they should keep going or give up?
That's a lot of questions, but it's a good one. And I think it's about the focus and really believing in what you do and dare to be different. I think that was also one of my lessons. because you have different ideas, you look different, that's why you do startup. Just keep going, but exactly when you want to give up, also take a moment to get out of it, because you're so focused, you can like become narrow-minded and really, like what I say, like refresh, go out. I go for running, maybe that's one thing. So take a moment to reflect and try to look above it, and as well question yourself, like go back why you started and what kind of assumptions you made, and are they still valid? And ask for help. You're not alone. There's a lot of people that can think with you and guide you. So that I think is a key thing. And the other thing about giving up or not is it's like you don't want to give up, but there's also the art of giving up. Sometimes you need to give up, and that's even more. You need more courage to do that. And 1 out of 20, and maybe it's changing, but in Silicon Valley, 1 out of the 20 is becoming a success. But you keep trying, keep trying. So I think that's like looking like right now and not like all the investments you did. And that's also one of the big challenges of VCs that I see, that they keep investing because they already invested so much, but that's the past. So look now and ask for help.
So if you would summarize that, I think really short for, let's say, a founder right now, if they really don't know if they should keep going, you're saying to stop, reflect. How do you reflect? Like, how do you stop? Because everything's going around you.
Step out and like do what you love besides working and creating all these things. Go to the beach, go to the forest. Just get out of your normal habits, and then or meditation or anything. What works for you, and then go back to what am I doing.
What works for you? Well, what do you do?
For me, I always run. Running is my, as well, like it helps me with new ideas, with creativity. Running.
Thank you. Cool. Then, Matthijs, I have a question for you. One of the issues as a founder or CEO is to transfer your vision to your employees. Now, for me, the interesting part of that is how do you keep your original vision and mission clear to all of the employees, regardless of how big the company grows? And I think for me, it's also more relevant to ask you, whether it's 10 or thousands of employees, is there a difference when it hits certain numbers? Just so that the founders in this audience are aware, is it different at 10? Is it different at 20? Is it different at thousands? Could you elaborate more about vision and mission, keeping it clear?
Well, do you have some time? Big question. Maybe to answer to the first part. I think it's, and I'll try to capture the second part as well. Very important to understand your own role. And I think when you either come new into a company or you start your own company, in the beginning it's all about you. It's you and the vision. Then you start building your team, your winning team around you. And then in that you have to give up a bit of yourself. And you have to come to terms with, it's not only about you, it's about the team and the plan. And then there is a new phase coming, because then the organization continues to grow, and then it's about the organization and the plan. And all of a sudden you realize it's not about you anymore. And I had the fortunate way that last year I went a month away to Nepal without any contact with the company. Nothing. I took the email, everything off my phone. And when I came back, my realization was, and it sounds so simple, the world turns around without you. The organization does well without you. And it sounds so simple, and it's such a humbling experience. So I think from the moment you start, you have to build that moment into your head. There will be a time it's no longer about me. It is about the organization, it's about the vision you want to create. But that vision, and that would be my second message, have to be extremely sharp. You have to be able to spit it out in 5 words. And in our way in Transavia, it's we make low cost feel good. You don't need more than that. When you hear that, you know what we're trying to do. It's as simple as that, and then live it. And maybe the third message is, it's all about storytelling. So don't come up with PowerPoints, don't come up with other difficult things, plans. It's about a story. explain, as I did with my naval experience, explain it at the end of a story and train your own people and train yourself in that storytelling. It's a competence you can learn. It's not something you maybe naturally have, but you can learn it. And start now, not when your company is 20 or 30 people large. Start now. What is your story? Why did you start this?
Great, thank you. A and Lara, do you have a practical tip as well to apply to keep the vision centered for all the employees? Just like a simple practical tip people could apply right away?
So what we do is I use a lot of visuals. So I brand ideas in vision and I visualize this and I put it, let's say, just Delft in the incubator. I have everywhere plates which are in line with the vision we have and what we want to be. So visualization is very, very important.
Thank you, it's good.
So the visuals I really recognize. I work now with at Microsoft, and with the new CEO, he really turned around the company again. And it's, as you said, like the mission you know right away, and it's everywhere. It's on the if you enter the new building, you see it on the steps. So it's really like reminding. And if you know it, because if you're going through change as well, like you can like say, hey, listen, we say at Microsoft now, it's one Microsoft. We need to work together. Customer obsessed, growth mindset, which I think is also like something at startups, and the other one is about inclusiveness and diversity. And I think every person, we have so many people working, knows it, but then as well there are like guidelines. You can like say, hey, I don't think you have a growth mindset now. You can really use it. So keep it simple, repeat, and visible.
That's a good one. Thank you. Next question for AA. This is an interesting one because so you found Nimbus, and with Nimbus you found Mangrove Venture Capital as your first investor. Now Mangrove Venture Capital was also the first investor in Skype. And my question to you is, how did you find them? How do you even go about finding people like that and getting them to invest? Especially if you don't know, don't have networks, how do you end up in that room?
So you need to have a funding plan. This goes step by step. In total, we raised $50 million in 6 years for this company. And it really started, I was in a mobile VoIP player. So I said to myself, I'm going to build a mobile Skype. So what is the best investor that has a natural fit with me? Of course, that's an investor that invested in Skype, which was the main play on the VoIP. So I just called him. I called the CEO and said, hey, can I come over this week? I'm building the mobile Skype. Are you interested to talk to me? I said, yeah, perfect. I'll give you 30 minutes. So I took the time to go to Luxembourg. I convinced him. And we made a deal for $2.5 million in 2 months. Not because I was so great, but he liked the story. He just made $400 or $500 million on Skype. And he said, well, he wanted to do this again, right? And then it started, because when we released half a year later, he had contacts with TechCrunch. You know TechCrunch, everybody knows TechCrunch, right? This famous website and magazine. We got an article on TechCrunch. And because we got an article on TechCrunch, suddenly all the VCs wanted to talk to us. So then you go from step to step and you find the VCs. So lesson learned, be selective. Don't just accept money everywhere. Just try to really select the partner that can really bring added value, really bring value to it, and it fits well to your business where you're in. So today we had the investment fund from Google at Yes Delft, Google AI, and of course this is great because we had 8 AI companies talking to them, and they already told me that there were 4 hits already. So why? Because we pre-selected. We did a completely thorough deal sourcing. So deal sourcing is important.
So you just find the phone on the website, or?
It is as simple as that. And then you need to be convincing and be authentic. And one tip I really would like to tell the people, I always did when I raised money, I was honest and I was vulnerable. I told them about my big dreams and what was really good, but also what were the risks involved, right? And what were my concerns. And that the team was still weak, we had to improve it. And his honesty always pays you back. So never hide or try to bullshit VCs. They're very smart people. And if they catch you in one lie, they won't make a deal with you. And I wouldn't do the same. So be honest.
Correct. Honesty is everything. Thank you. Yeah, so question then to Laura for now. So we actually covered this a little bit, you guys mentioned it in Vision, but how do you know, you said winning team for instance, how do you know if a team will be successful? What types of people, what characters are you looking for? And I think, and this is for me very practically, how do you test that? Because you might have a feeling with them, but the feeling is not scalable. So how do you test proper people and create a winning team? Laura, maybe first.
Yeah, so I think the winning team as well, it depends on what the situation is, right, and where and how. For me, a winning team is about like different people, like not all the same thinkers. So diversity is key. And I think one of the things that I see more and more, what it becomes more important, is the drive. Really wanting to, the learning, like open to feedback. So really it's more about characteristics and of course like some deep knowledge, but drive and wanting to learn and open for feedback, I think is more important. And then yeah, how do you test it? Like by results, by like really going, like, not only the PowerPoint, right? It's much more than that, really like, are they living what they're saying? What do we see? And so on. But it's a hard one. And then once I was listening to the CEO of Zappos, the shoes that got bought by, and I think one thing is really good is that like hire slow, fire fast. And I think that is a very, very good one, because if you start like firing or like thinking about it, then it takes a lot of energy and so on. So that will be a good motto.
And Matthijs, do you have practical tips? How do you find really good people fast, or recruit the right people or winning teams?
I think finding people, being a well-known company and a loved brand is not so difficult, but selecting the right people for me is still, and when you say, well, how do you scale it, extremely difficult. I think it's the mindset you were referring to, it's the person that can reflect and continue to learn. I think that's always what I'm looking for. For most of the important positions, I'm always part of the selecting team. So it's mostly what I do. I think it's my most important job, or actually maybe my only job is to find the right people. And then when I've found the right people, I can, whatever, play golf or do something else. It's what I do. But how do we scale that? I haven't found the key to that answer. It's just by doing it and living it and trying to help other people doing the same. But
so you train other people to find what you're looking for as well, and then through people you scale, or?
Yeah, we train, obviously we train doing interviews, but I think it's something you need to go through together. So every time I team up with somebody else in an interview, and we learn together, and we support each other in that. But I'm always trying to be part of that, so to create a common way of, okay, those are the type of people that fit with, in this case, Transavia.
Okay, actually still to you, Matthijs. So this is really interesting to me because we have also a lot of ambassadors, but the question I have is, so I was scrolling through YouTube and on a random video about Transavia on YouTube, I found a comment. Just some random person, I'm assuming not an employee from you, but literally a random person, and it was just screaming how great the people are, how great the service is, a lot of enthusiasm and detail. So I really thought, I think it's a random person just commenting. And so my question is, how do you achieve customers that are that dedicated, that are willing to write positive reviews? Because it's sometimes really hard to ask people to write reviews as well. And here people are writing all over the internet without asking for it, and they promote your company as an ambassador. So how do you create these ambassadors then?
I think it starts with your own people. You make the difference when you actually meet your customers, in our case the passengers, and that's on board. So where did we create that special feeling, that special moment? It's on board. So how do we make sure that our 1,500 flight attendants sort of radiate that Transavia feeling? And what we did is we took what was already there. So we went back to the story, the place where Transavia was created 52 years ago. And we tried to understand what was the main reason Transavia was created. And how can we recognize that in the DNA of our people? So we took what's already there and we added a bit, but not too much. And then slowly, step for step, we can start and we add. And it's all about what we call the green heart. And we made it very simple. We talked about it. It's the green heart. And it's about storytelling. I always, when people are hired and they actually finish their training, I'm always there. And I always do a bit of storytelling with them. And I always tell them that it's that special moment when you're on your knees, one-on-one, talking to a passenger. That is where you make the difference. And they always remember that. When I talk to them 5 years later, they still remember, okay, you told us that. So it's that simple things that keeps the company alive, but also keeps it connected to the roots.
Great. And Laura, do you have a practical tip as well to create ambassadors out of your clients?
Yeah, well, I think what you were just saying, absolutely cherish your customers, but I think as a startup, what I did as well, like make it a program. Make it a program to create ambassadors of your customers. Like think about how you will like ask them for reviews, how they will be on stage talking for you, how you can do videos. So really make it a structural part of your communication, marketing and sales. And then maybe as well, LinkedIn is great on social, ask for endorsements. Just don't be shy, because if you do good things, let others tell for you.
What do you mean sharing on LinkedIn?
Well, I think on LinkedIn, and that's maybe as well like our Dutch nationality, that we say, oh, we don't want to ask for an endorsement. If you have done a good job for Tanzania, you could ask, like, please can you write something for me on your endorsement, because you are your brand as well. So it's like your company, your personal brand, and use online.
So sometimes just asking can create an ambassador?
Yeah, don't be shy.
And Eye, how do you achieve ambassadors on you?
Well, it's a very simple answer. I mean, you have to provide the customer with the best customer experience possible, and he will become your ambassador. And if you don't do it, he will be also an ambassador, but in a negative way, right? And look at the company, a Rotterdam company, Coolblue. Why was it such a successful company? Because people are promoting this company to each other. Why? Because it has a great customer experience. Right? And that's what you want. It's as simple like this. Make the customer the center of everything you do, and you will create ambassadors like this.
That's a good one. And then, almost last question actually, for you, Matthijs, but actually for everybody. So the reason I'm focusing on you is because your daughter actually organized TEDx Youth in Maastricht, I saw, which shows some entrepreneurial spirit. But I think the question I have is how you're encouraging it at home, but how would you encourage more of this spirit in our society if we want to stimulate more women to become entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily only women. I think it's everybody who does not dare to do it, who does not dare to make that jump. And unfortunately, we live in a society where when you make a mistake, look at what's happening when one of our politicians makes a mistake, everybody in the public, in the press, he needs to step down, he needs to go, and he needs to be punished. And I think we have to get rid of that mentality. When you do your job and you make a mistake in the line of that job, you can never be fired and never be punished for that. So it's the freedom, the safety to make mistakes. And I think there we really need to make a big step forward as a society or as an organization, and obviously as small as you want to go. And everybody here can contribute. Don't start talking about punishment or stepping down when somebody makes a mistake. Say, well done, at least you've tried. And please step up, do it again, make another mistake and another mistake. You will get it right sooner or later. And that's the mentality we need.
So encourage everyone. Really interested to hear you, Laura, as well, on how would you encourage more women to become entrepreneurs?
Yeah, so well, first, like we were saying about failure, I spent 10 years in Silicon Valley, and in the Netherlands as well, like failure is like not a good thing, and it's getting fired even worse. And in Silicon Valley it was just normal, like, oh, my husband is coming home, and he had this box. with all the stuff in it. And I think that's also, sometimes you join a big company like Microsoft and you think it's security, but it's not, right? It's like, it's just what you do. So go and follow your passion. And for women, I don't see like a big difference between women and men in like doing and driving a business. So just go do it, but I think it starts early on in education, at schools, and learning tech skills, so that's good, and events that are promoting it, but in the end it doesn't matter, so just go and do it.
Great, and then I think this question is also close to you, because I know that you have daughters as well, so I would love to hear from you.
Well, I've got 3 daughters, and 2 of them already want to become an entrepreneur, so I'm not saying that I've influenced them. But I think, especially for women, it's also about confidence. So what we need is more role models. So the women that are successful in the companies should stand out and speak out and show that a woman can be really successful as a man can be. And we have great examples also at Yes Delft. The large, big exit we have was by Eline, that was Night Balance, which was a sensor for, for apnea. And she always told me that 11 years ago, when she was doing her thesis, she found out there was a great problem-solution fit, but her big dream was to become a consultant. Nobody wanted to go further with her idea, so she decided to do it herself in a couple of years. It took her 11 years of persistence, hard work, but she was able to sell this to Philips at a huge amount of money, and as a global solution for so many people out there. So it's about belief, it's about confidence, it's about role models, and I think everybody can do anything and achieve so much more than they think, so I would say to women, just go for it.
I agree. I also want to emphasize, part of the reason we have also so many judges is because it was a personal mission to have a lot of these role models here today. One of the things I always hear is, oh, but I don't know any women who are entrepreneurs or this or that. And here today you have almost 50 and 70% of our judges are women with amazing networks and businesses. So you can find them on the first row here. Please approach them. And if you're looking for mentors, they're all, I hope all, I asked them, but they're all open to help you out. We're actually now in the final question. Let's also keep this one short. But my question to you and then Matthijs. What are the next steps within Yes Delft, within your industry? Are you guys looking for specific tech or startups that can approach you afterward?
Yes, so we have defined domains, AI, blockchain, clean tech, sorry about this. So what I would love to do is to people, go to the website of Yes Delft, look at those 9 domains that we have, and if you really think that you fit in one of those domains, please contact us, because I think Yes Delft is really an incubator that can help you and bring you forward on many aspects. Help you with your validation, your early stage startup, and also your late stage. So.
And Laura?
Yeah, so at Microsoft we have a program as well for startups where you can just like leverage technology that we have. But personally, I'm willing to help anyone like that has an idea or mentoring or anything else. So that's what I can offer. And I think, leverage as well, like what's already out there in technology. Artificial intelligence is opening so many other possibilities. We are just at the start.
And then for Matthijs. So I was actually informed that there's a big announcement coming related to tech or startups from Transavia. I would love to know what are the next steps for you within this industry and what type of tech or startups should approach you. And actually we also have Nico here on the front row. He's in the Judges app as well. He's one of our judges, also from Transavia. But Matthijs, what are the next steps? What is up in your world?
Thanks for asking. So this morning we announced that we created what we call Transavia Ventures, which is, as you want to call it, an investment fund fully owned by Transavia, where we will invest for now every year 1 million, but the money probably less important than the resources you can count on. We have experience in marketing, distribution, we have the community, we have the brand if you want it, and we offer that to basically every startup which is in the phase of really becoming a company. So not an idea, but an actually existing company. Not necessarily only linked to the travel industry, but basically everyone who thinks can use the experience, the resources, and the brand of Transavia. Feel free, Nico, please stand up.
There he is.
That's Nico, that's the man.
That's the guy you want.
Nico started, and I think that's really cool, because yeah, obviously we are a company, so you can call us entrepreneurs, but we're not a startup. And maybe we lost a bit of your hungriness, a bit of your creativity, but Nico started his own company, sold it successfully, have been investing in startups ever since, and now he saw the opportunity, together with Transavia, to build this fund and to help and support all of you in that next phase of your development.
Thank you so much. So officially, Transavia Ventures, I think, is online then. The link you can find here. And just make sure that Nico cannot move today from the expo. Thank you very much. With that, I would like to ask you to get up. And the audience, please, hand of applause for our panel speakers. Thank you so much for opening up. And we also have a gift for you, which you can find here. These are flowers from actually one of our partners, which you can find in the app as well and on the board. Soli Flores. Thank you, speakers, so much. I really appreciate you coming, taking the time. The answers were seriously personal. I understood them. I have practical examples. I hope you guys have practical examples as well. And with that being said, thank you. You can go sit down and enjoy the show. Is anybody approaching the judges today? Raise your hand if yes. Cool. Is anybody looking for female mentors? Raise your hand. Okay, I see a couple. So just make sure on the front row, run to them as fast as possible, or check out the app and then just see their faces. Again, thank you so much. We are going to continue to our next part of the event, the reason why everybody's here, which is our 3 startups. Now, these 3 startups are chosen out of more than 150 startups. It was seriously crazy. A year ago when we started, the whole idea was to find 5 startups, and maybe we'll choose 3 out of those and open up our network from Lightning Video Editors to a small get-together, small drink, maybe 20, 30 people, and let this startup be heard by all these clients of ours. What we didn't expect was that we would have more than 100 signups, that we would go through several cities and countries, and eventually end up here today in Medulla with more than 150 startups signed up. Amazing startups that also have a stand outside. And there's no reason why they didn't make it and these did. These just fit more to how we can help them. The others are the same amazing startups. They deserve the same exposure, and that's why they have a stand there today. So please approach them and find out more about our top 50. But without further ado, I would like to introduce our next startup, which is Oslo. Please, Oslo, come to the stage. And audience, give a round of applause.
As a real artist, I get a standard for the microphone. Just waiting for that. There he is. Hello. Hello everyone. Is it going to be a countdown or I'm going to start? Oh, yes. Sorry. Hello everyone. My name is Ronald Haastijn and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Oslo. And I'm really excited to tell you about our great innovation. It all started in May 2016 when Otto had a great idea to solve a big problem in the fruit shipping industry. He asked me to work together on this, and I immediately saw a huge potential. 3 months later, we founded the company, and we began a great mission. We want to reduce food waste around the globe. So how can we do that? Well, most food that we eat actually comes from the other side of the planet. And to get to us, the ships need to cross some really hot zones. And here's the problem. The flow of air inside the container is not that effective. The cold air from the cooling unit simply doesn't reach all corners of the container. And that's when hotspots occur. And these harm the fruit to the point that they need to be thrown away sometimes. So what is Otto's great solution for this? He came up with a special designed floor cover. This unique shape creates the perfect internal airflow and gets rid of the hotspots. Since we are the first in the world with this solution, we patented the technology and we trademarked the brand in 33 fruit exporting countries. The University of Wageningen proved that hot flow reduces the temperature difference by 30%. And the important thing is that no more hotspots were visible with hot flow. So what do you get for 110 euros or an investment of less than 1 cent per kilo of fruit? You get less waste, less financial losses, and a higher quality. The fruit industry is huge. It's been growing 43% in the last 2 years. And that means that 750 containers arrive each day in the port of Rotterdam. And this is just only the port of Rotterdam. Imagine this on a global scale. We've had some great traction since we launched our product 18 months ago. We have a turnover of 195,000. We have 30 customers worldwide, some you might recognize. We have 2 local distributors with 8 tenders. How did we acquire these? By investing our time in direct sales, visiting trade shows, having a great distributor network, and also lots of media exposure. These are the members of the team, so you know me, and you know Otto. Mark Rijn, who's producing the flows, and Michiel Minnaar, who's in charge of sales and distribution. Since the beginning, we had some great advisors helping us, Matthijs, Victor, and Harm. So fruit is our focus for now. Just imagine if we were to expand into other shipments as well. Just think about the vegetables, medicine, and even sneakers are now transported in cooled containers. So how can you help us in our mission to reduce food waste? We're looking for introductions in the fruit and shipping industry. We're looking for advice and resources to accelerate our growth, all to help us in our mission to reduce food waste on a global scale. Any questions? Questions?
So now we're going into the judges Q&A, so you can still stay there. The judges, you can raise your hands. Our microphone runner, Duncan here, will go up with the microphone to you and you can ask a question. Any of the judges have a question? Yeah, here, I see.
Yeah, hi, my name is Peter Lame. And I was just wondering, you got 195,000 turnover revenue, right? So what's the spread of that? Is that the mat itself, or is it also advice, or?
I'm sorry, it's really hard to hear when you're on stage, so...
Well then.
Yeah.
Your revenue is 195,000
Yes.
euros, right? So I was wondering, how is the build-up of that revenue?
Okay, so we have a few customers, we have 30 customers, right? And we have a few that started testing the first year that we launched. That's 18 months ago we launched. So the first year they did some testing, and there are only 2 of the 30 that actually bought Offlow for the entire season. So most of the revenue is actually coming from the big companies just doing tests. Just doing like a small batch of Offlow just to test and see if they have some results. In the coming years, we expect that they will buy for entire seasons.
What then would be the cost for one container?
It's 110 euros per container, average. So if you buy more, then it's like if you buy 1,000 hot flows, you get it for 80 euros per hot flow.
Well, thank you.
Yes?
Great.
Is that an order? It's just placed an order.
Thank you very much.
Is there another judge with a question? Somebody else from the judges a question? Raise your hand. There, I see a couple. We have time for 2 more questions, maybe, if it's a short one.
Thanks very much for the pitch. My name is Paula Wink, I'm from For Impact. My question to you is, how innovative really is the idea? I recognize you've got an IP, but are there competitors, or do you really need to convince people that this is a novel?
Well, this is really new, so you're correct about that. And because it's new, then you have to explain that what we are doing. So that's a bit of the hard part for us. There's nothing in the world that's really doing it like this. So the people in the food shipping industry, they all know about the problem, but now there is sort of a solution, and it's so new for them. It's hard to convince them that this really helps. To place something on the floor of a container, and then it magically helps to get the perfect airflow. So that's a bit of a trouble for us, but there are no other things that manipulate the airflow like the product that we have yet. So we have to conquer the world in a really fast manner, right?
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
One last question, very short.
Hi, I'm Natasha from ThinQ. My question was related to the previous one, so I was curious to hear about your unique selling point and what is your competitive advantage in comparison to the other, let's say, solutions that exist on the market.
Well, there are no really solutions that do the same. So I don't think there's a good explanation further, but there are no really competitors doing the same as that we're doing right now. So the thing is, you have to expand rapidly before everyone else is making 4 covers for that same price that we can achieve right now. Because it's affordable, and we've worked really hard on that. And it's made from recycled material, and can recycle it again. Keep that in mind as well.
Great. A hand of applause for Oslo. Okay, we have our next startup coming, Meds2Go. I want you to hand an applause for the founder of Meds2Go, Carla.
Hello, nice to see so many of you. Go back to your last holiday. You take an airplane, it gets delayed a little, or perhaps you don't find a taxi right away to take you to your hotel. Nothing to worry about, right? Well, for me, that is when the stress kicks in. This is because I use medication that cannot be delayed. I use medicine that needs to be kept between 2 and 8 degrees at all times, and current solutions will only allow me up to 8 hours of safe travel time. Just take 1 second of how that would affect your life. My name is Carla van Bos, and I'm the founder and CEO of Meds2Go, and our mission is to create freedom and security to travel with temperature-sensitive medication. And with the portable cooler of Meds2Go, we can provide just that. We talked to many people to really understand the problem, and I want to share with you one story. I spoke to Joke, who lives on the island of Texel and uses eye drops. It's crucial they stay between 2 and 8 degrees, because otherwise bacteria can get in and she might even go blind. She doesn't leave the island that much. And now, for the first time, using our container, she traveled to her family in Brabant without stress, knowing her medicine was safe. She was so happy that she didn't even want to return the prototype. And basically what we do is, what we know is that the biggest problem people have is the stress about the condition of the medication and the limitation in travel of movement, how we call it. So, and it doesn't applies to a lot of people. It can be children of all ages, men and women, and maybe you even have a friend or family member that has this issue. The biggest patient group using this kind of medicine is with rheumatoid arthritis, which is a very common illness. In the Netherlands, we found 130,000 people struggling to keep their medication between 2 and 8 degrees. On a European level, that equals to 3.8 million people, and the market is growing. For all those people, Meds2Go has made this solution. It's a portable cooling container that guarantees at least 24 hours of safe travel time. It shows the real-time temperature on the display to create a much-needed security. It can carry at least 4 weeks of medication, and we do this with passive cooling, so it's allowed on airplanes. And, well, it also looks pretty good, which is also important. Because providing the right tools to use your medicine as prescribed, we can support therapy compliance, self-management, and patient empowerment. Basically, creating or helping to improve quality of life for people with a chronic illness, and at the same time reduce the spoiling of expensive medication. What's next up for Meds2Go? We aim to have our product launch of our first products at the end of this year. After that, we'll continue to develop new solutions with added features, like an app. Our container can also be used to collect more data on medicine use, which is in high demand. Because now we don't know much about how people use the medication. And it doesn't stop there. Our patented technique can also be used for other solutions in the so-called, in other markets. We started working already with a drug company to do by air delivery of vaccinations using our cooling container. This is just one example of how Meds2Go can contribute to global healthcare. And you can be part of that. We have our goals, and we can't do it alone. We need support, and we are looking for investors and also experts, especially if you are an expert on marketing and sales. Come talk to us. We need more exposure and visibility. Now we're getting to our market product launch, but also if you are an expert on production, logistics, distribution, you can find us in the exposition room. Because basically, we could work together to improve healthcare. Well, this is Meds2Go. Let's get cool.
Thank you so much. Judges, do you have any questions? See here, raising a hand.
Hi. It's a very nice product. Are you going to sell the product, or is it going to be a service from Transavia?
Well, that depends on Transavia. Let's talk. We met already, so
Okay, thanks.
try to put that in. Thank you for this question.
Great, next question. There's one next to you.
Yeah. Yes, hello. What is the price of such a container? What is the cost?
Yes, we set the price at 165 euros plus VAT, so just below 200 euros as a customer price.
Next question. Yeah.
Thanks. I was curious, you mentioned passive cooling. It's basically a two-part question. The first being, is there any preparation time, anything you need to do before you start to use it? That's one. And you can explain that in a sec, I suppose. And also, how does it deal, because I imagine some of these medications might need to be used, during transit. How do you deal with that in a 24-hour window?
Yes, well, actually the medication is used maximum one time a day. Some of it is 6 times a day, that eye drops I was talking about. What we already testing now. So if you take it on the airplane, it's always hand luggage, so you can reach it. It's never because it freezes in the other part. It's best. What was your first question? Sorry.
Okay, so the first question was, what's the preparation
time
before you can use
yes.
it? And the second was also related to if you have to open it to use it. Say 6
Actually, we also took care of there's just a little heat loss when you open it. So it's a special opening, and so the heat loss is minimum. So it doesn't really take much of the travel time, and you need to prepare like maximum of 8 hours for the PCM to reach the maximum temperature capacity. Thank you. Yeah.
Great. That was actually a very long question, so this was the final one. Thank you so much, judges, as well. Please write in the feedback. Thanks to Caroline for presenting. She has a stand as well. I think all the starters actually have a stand. You can just approach them, but if you see them, approach them, ask them questions. Now, for our last startup, we have a final startup, so we're almost there. We have a really cool startup as well, Feedbox. And I want to welcome to stage, please audience, give a hand for the founder of Feedbox.
Hi, my name is Amit from Feedbox, the self-heating lunchbox. Feedbox enables you to enjoy a warm and healthy meal wherever you are, whenever you want. When it comes to eating healthy food outside of home, there's always been one special person that reminds me of the immense importance of it. That special person being my dad. My dad's been a driving instructor for almost 20 years now. And during his career, he often faced 12-hour work shifts, but also many forced trips to either a McDonald's or Burger King drive-thru, just because he didn't really have a better alternative going up and down between clients all day long. And being an Indian guy, cold lunch was never an option. Now, this was all fun and games until his medical condition started to get worse. My dad has diabetes. And for the people that know diabetes, also know that those people have to be very cautious with the type of food they eat and when they eat that food. His profession didn't make it much easier for him. Like my father, there are many other people that struggle with eating warm and healthy food on a daily basis, ranging from athletes to truck drivers or construction workers, but also people like you and me, being students, entrepreneurs, and people that sit in an office all day long. In general, we face 3 main issues. Problem number 1 being the annoyance of the absence of microwaves. Problem number 2, unhealthy options, especially the ones my dad faced on the road a lot. And problem number 3 is when you do find a place that has warm and healthy food, it can get pretty expensive to consume at that place on a daily basis. It's these 3 problems and those people that motivated us to come up with a solution for this for good. And today, I'm very happy and proud to show you our solution for the first time in public. And our solution is called Feedbox, the self-heating lunchbox. And this is what it looks like. It's good, right? This device enables you to enjoy a warm and healthy meal wherever you are, whenever you want, ranging from rice to pasta, veggies or leftovers in under 8 minutes. Now, some of the features. It's rechargeable. It's smart, not just because it sounds cool, but it's actually app connected and controllable. It uses steam rather than conventional heat, which doesn't only taste better than your microwave meal, but it's also much healthier for you. It's leak-proof because who likes to mix spaghetti sauce with their expensive MacBook in their bag, right? And last but not least, it's sustainable, as we've made the process of bringing with you your leftovers rather than throwing them away that simple. Now this is us, where we on the sides have our engineering founders and engineering geniuses, Dennis and Michael, who are the actual ones that created this product. On my left, we have Kevin, a hardcore entrepreneur, and myself as founder and visionary of this idea. Imagine, and I'm not going to sing a John Lennon song, but I want you to imagine Feedbox in 5 to 10 years' time. This is where we are right now. We're launching through a crowdfunding campaign on Kickstarter in October, with our beachhead market being the sports market. But that's not where we're going to stop. We're going to focus on the on-the-go segment, consisting of commuters and people like my dad, where we're going to partner up, rethink our business model, and partner with supermarkets and food delivery services. And our final goal, the urban market, or the more mainstream market, where we have a vision that we call freedom of food, where we want to enable anyone to enjoy a warm and healthy meal wherever they are, whenever they want. No more dependencies. My name is Amit from Feedbox, and we are about to change the way we eat. Thank you.
Judges, any questions? I see a couple of hands pop up.
I have a very practical question. What is the weight? How heavy is the box? Hi.
Yeah, so including food, it will be 1.2 to 1.5 kilos.
And excluding food?
Around a kilo. Yes.
Great, another question. I see a couple of hands there on the left side.
On the left.
Hello? I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of left. I've got two questions. Is there any cutlery that you can join it, that you have one box that your cutlery doesn't
Yes.
sell out? And the second one is, do you have a patent on it?
Yes, very good question. Yes, the cutlery is included. We've created it inside of the heatbox itself. And yes, we have a patent on a part of the heatbox, the heating mechanism. So that's the reason why I can't show you the cutlery part. But it is included in the heatbox itself.
Great, one more question? Or two more questions?
Yeah, great product. When can I order it?
When? On Kickstarter in October. We're going live in October.
You can sign up at their stands,
Yes.
put in your emails, and then
Yeah,
they'll
sure.
send you a discount code as well.
What's the price?
Yeah, so it's going to start at Kickstarter, starting from 99 euros.
One more question at the end there, and that's the last question.
Hi, so yeah, it looks like a great product, definitely something I would like to use myself because of my dietary needs. How long will the battery last? How long I can go without recharging?
Yes, so it works up to 3 times on a single charge.
Okay.
So for instance, if you forget to charge it on a single day, you can take it with you on the same or on the next day, or you can use it twice if you bring an extra lunchbox.
Perfect, thanks. And maybe one more. I just
sure.
really wonder, how do you see this product developing within next 2 years, let's say?
Yeah, you mean the heatbox itself? Yeah, so we will be successful on Kickstarter, and there will be a 2.0 version, for sure. So more features, looking better, lighter, etc.
Best luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Feedbox. I would like to invite our 2 other startups to come on stage as well. Oslo, Mets to Go, and Feedbox. So let's gather around the carpet. Makes it easier. Yeah, black, white. Okay. First of all, thank you so much for going. They were selected about 3 weeks ago, I think, and since then prepping. Thank you so much. I really hope that you guys like their products. Go to them, approach them, help them out, open a door for them. From the organization, all 3 want to thank you for being here, for putting in the effort, and I want to bring out a gift for you, a surprise, for being here as well, and being part of our organization. So yeah, Feedbox for everybody, for sure. Thank you so much, Oslo, Mets to Go, and Feedbox. But not only that, as today is a celebration of all three, I want to hand you also the top 3 trophy, which represents that we will always have your back no matter what, and you can always reach out to our entire team, and we'll try and help you where we can. And that's it. Thank you so much. You can go take a seat, speak with everybody. For everybody, the winner will be announced on the 14th of June. Now, why do we do this? Well, first of all, there's no reason why we should make a huge show with one winner. All 3, like I said, were selected out of 150 startups. All 3 deserve the same attention, which is why today I really hope that you appreciate all 3 of them, but also the top 15 outside. And next week, if you follow us, we will make sure to mention their email, the winner, so that you can go and follow them. Because the way you can help is not by helping us, the organization, by helping and following the winner and making sure that their concept succeeds. And that's why we announce it the next week. I want to thank the judges. We will take your feedback, share it with the startups. It is incredibly valuable, and it is our way of sharing it and making sure that all 3 win. I want to thank the partners as well. I really do mean it. Without you, we wouldn't be where we are today. Some of these partners have been since the beginning at Startup Funding Event. Somehow they believed that we would succeed in this. And so thank you, I'm extremely grateful. Now, there are other initiatives as well. They actually didn't ask us to do this, so we do it because we believe in these concepts. Every Thursday, you will find our team actually at Venture Cafe, which is in Groot Handelsgebouw, which is next to Central Station. Great event. Tech Delta, which is actually happening tomorrow, but there are also other events happening, and they have a stand outside. It's a corporate and startup matchmaking. I absolutely love it because I've been connected to many, many corporates there. Get in the Ring is actually having a global meetup and have a great concept where they find a lot of great startups. Amsterdam Capital Week, of course, we have to promote them. Again in September, they have a unique concept, Amsterdam Capital House. You can find it on Google when you type in Amsterdam Capital Week. And of course, Rotterdam Capital Days is happening as well, which you can also find on Google. All of these concepts are amazing to visit. If you enjoyed this, you'll enjoy these as well. Now, it's finally starting to become time for the expo. An expo where we have, I think, about 30 stands, corporates and startups. I want to ask you to help us keep the event free. Just get a coffee, get a drink. One drink is usually enough for us. But also, if you want, buy some merchandise. This is a way for us to make sure that we can keep continuing helping the startups. And we have really cool stuff. I absolutely adore the notebook myself, and I use it all the time. Thank you all for joining us. I really wish you the best. Remember, share Startup Funding Event hashtag so that we can see your pictures as well. And without further ado, I would like to invite you to go get a drink, approach everybody, and thank you so much again for this